Go ESPN.
There it is. This is episode 133 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. We are live streaming during the 7th round of the NFL draft to give you our reactions to what we've seen over the weekend and also our immediate reactions to the Bengals and Browns 7th round picks. Sorry we're a little late. We had it scheduled for a little bit before that, but we're here now. And we got here just in time to the Browns are actually up here in about two different picks.
They're up next.
Well, according to my TV, they're up in 2 picks, but
I guess
the Jaguars took their pick, but they're basically up next. The Titans are on the clock, and the
Titans are on the clock.
All right. So speaking of which, though, Thomas, the Browns are on the board, so we're gonna get your reaction here in a little bit. So, like I said, 2 picks from now, we're also gonna have another Lamar Jackson conversation later during the state of the AFC North because he got his big contract, and we're going to break it down, or at least we're going to break down our thoughts about it.
Oh, man.
But first, Steelers had a pretty good draft, I guess. But I don't care because why, Thomas?
Because Pittsburgh still sucks, but they always draft well, though. They always draft well.
They drafted particularly.
They did draft a running back a year ago, and they did draft a quarterback
that was stupid.
Their quarterback has a ceiling, a very low ceiling. So there's that too.
I haven't loved what they've done the last few years, but this year they were smart, and I don't like that.
Oh no, the Browns just traded their pick to Baltimore.
Oh really?
Yeah,
interesting.
Fuck the Ravens.
Let's see. Baltimore.
They traded their pick to.
I don't think Baltimore has any more picks left, so I guess y'all are done for the year, right?
By the way, Kyle, how have you been?
How have I been? I've been like as far as this draft is concerned, I've been
life. I haven't talked to you in a while. How you been, Nick? How you been, bro?
Me personally, I've been doing pretty good. Yeah,
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything bad on here. We're live. And you say something on the internet is there forever.
I don't care. I don't care. But no, I mean, it's legitimately been good so far. Like I'm doing what I want with my career, and I've had a lot of time to see friends and stuff like that lately. It's been going good. What about you, buddy?
Motley Crue's one. My wrist ain't broken no more. If y'all watch, I had a broken wrist, and it ain't broken no more. So yeah. Well, it's still like sore. It's not there, but it's getting there. It's getting there. I can grab stuff. Look, I can grab a remote. I can change the channel. No, I ain't change the channel. Motley Crue's on. Shout out to Motley Crue, y'all. All right, you gonna keep the music
I didn't know you were in the Motley Crue.
No, I'm not. But they're on stage right now, and they're kind of badass.
Motley Crue's pretty. I like Motley Crue, but anyway, so I want to start by getting your thoughts on what the Browns have done so far. Obviously, they didn't have they traded into the second round, or not the second round. They traded into the third round, and they got a comp pick. They ended up having day 2 selections after all. What do you think so far?
Well, I like the receiver mixed feelings with the receiver they got. I like the talent of the receiver they got from Tennessee. I thought getting into receiver 3rd round with the first pick was nice. I've seen they got I haven't had a chance to look at all the film of all the players because I'd be sitting here lying if I just told you I just know every single one of these players and I watch all their games. But I did like that receiver at Tennessee. I have had a chance to see him play. He's really nice. I didn't like what he said on a press conference because he said in a press conference that he's going to be stiff-arming people like crazy. He is a big guy, but you see, this is your back right here, right? This is your back. And with that press conference, you just put a giant target like right here. So, and not just for like players, for our bum ass fans, because they're going to come back to that and be like, hey, what happened to you stiff arming people like crazy? Like after the first game, too. After the first preseason game, trust me, our fans are rooting. You did that too. You did it yourself. So,
Yeah, that may not have been the smartest thing to say of all time. Hitting
it was hard. I mean, like I'm not saying that the kid's probably a game, but you know what I mean. You got to be careful because people hang on every single word you say in the press conference. You can win or lose a press conference in Cleveland. It's easier to do that than it is to win or lose the game.
Yeah. Anyway. Hey, Thomas, you're cutting out extremely badly right now.
Headphones, and then that's what we want to do. We want to X out the headphones.
Okay. So I'll say one thing as far as my opinion of the Browns draft, like the Cedric Tillman, I mean, you know, the Browns got another wide receiver to add to a pretty strong wide receiver room, so I'm sure Deshaun Watson's happy. I think that could help, you know, adding a different element that they don't really have already. Siaki Ika, I like the Browns' thought process there as far as adding to their pass rush. But I was really like, and I texted you about it. That was a great pick. You guys got DeJuan Jones in the 4th round. Like that was pretty good. I don't know why he fell to the 4th round, probably because of his weight issues, and I don't know if that's going to rear its head in the NFL. But from a talent standpoint, dude, he was like, there were Bengals fans talking about getting him with the first pick.
Yeah, no, that's nice. That was nice. You know, Andrew Berry's good at finding. Andrew Berry's good at finding little gems in the draft. That's one of Andrew Berry's specialties. I don't really blame the last 2 seasons on Andrew Berry, except the fact that the last few years, you know, you had extreme circumstances. Speaking of Isaiah, then the Browns, who was the Browns got somebody out of Missouri today.
Mm-hmm. I can't remember Isaiah McGuire.
Yeah,
defensive end.
He's intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what he's going to do. That pick was intriguing to me. You see the Browns, you know, they're just getting depth pieces. Pieces that help defense. I think we got an offensive lineman in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought it was a very smart draft. It's really hard to react because these are all 3rd and 4th round picks. So these are all utility players you imagine be starters. Hopefully, one becomes Pro Bowler eventually. You know, you talk about most players in the NFL are 3rd through 5th round players anyway. So this is where you get to meet your team anyway. So it was I would say a solid draft. Browns still did supposed to. That's what I said.
Yeah, I definitely think Isaiah McGuire was a good value because I expected him to go in the 3rd round. Fell to the Browns, and that's definitely what you want out of that. But like I said, you know, for me, the I can't say I have any favorite picks because I don't, you know, like the Browns making good picks. But as far as like, you know, picks that I think were really good, you know, DeJuan Jones, but I really like Dorian Thompson-Robinson going to the Browns. Like, you know, if Deshaun Watson ends up getting hurt, that's a really good guy to come in. And my only concern is I feel like there's a little bit of what was that? What was the name of that guy? That other guy y'all got from UCLA a few years back. He was like the quarterback during your 0-16 season.
We never got a quarterback we got DeShone Kizer.
DeShone Kizer, yeah, I feel like he's got a little bit of DeShone Kizer energy.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Okay, so you know what I seen that pick as? I think if Deshaun Watson gets hurt, Josh Dobbs will be our quarterback. I see that pick as if Watson end up leaving us ultimately in a couple of years, which I think could really happen.
You think he's a development type?
Yeah, he's a development piece just in case Watson leaves us. He's our insurance in case Watson leaves us, or like you said, get hurt.
That's a thought process. It'd be interesting, I think, if Dorian Thompson-Robinson, like if Deshaun Watson left and y'all decided to go with Dorian Thompson-Robinson as the starter, he could get there. I don't think he's in any way, shape, or form a guy I would think of as an NFL starter, but he might develop. You never know. Another guy, the guy y'all just picked up, Luke Weipler. in the 6th round.
I can't tell you anything about him.
He's a center from Ohio State, but that's another guy. He was like projected to be like a 3rd round pick, and y'all got him in the 6th.
Yeah.
Now he plummeted. A lot of people thought that he was going to be taken much earlier. So there's got to be some sort of like injury issue going on there or something. But like just talent alone, that was a great pick.
Yeah, now, the only thing is that like I just feel like I just hope they did their homework interviewing these guys.
Yeah, well, especially with
the Browns. That's the Browns' biggest mistake is that they pick off of talent and stuff they did in college alone, but they don't ever pick off of the locker room and if they're gonna mesh well. I mean, just last year, Perion Woodford. You know what I mean? Like they were saying in the locker room that he wasn't a good locker room presence at all. Myles Garrett came to coach multiple times and said this guy's not it, and we kept him. And I think it's ultimately becoming a regret for many of the people in the Browns organization.
Yeah, well, that is, I think mentality. I've said it for years. That's been the Browns' biggest hurdle, I think, and the reason why they keep just kind of defaulting back to being a team that just doesn't really do very much, like ever, is because like for me, I've noticed that the Browns tend to end up with guys who just don't have the right mentality to like be a grinding NFL. Like a lot of flashy guys, a lot of guys who are like, like bring the hype and stuff like that, but like that don't really have a lot of substance at the end of the day. So that's the thing about that's the thing I really like about guys like DeJuan Jones and Isaiah McGuire. I worry a little bit about DeJuan Jones' mentality, but as far as work ethic goes, that dude's a workhorse. So
yeah,
I mean, if he can get his weight under control, which I think is the reason why he fell. But if he can get his weight under control, then I mean, I think that's going to be a good guy to have in the Browns locker room.
Yeah, I think that's a good pick, honestly. I think that's going to work well with us. I think it's a smart draft by Andrew Berry. Andrew Berry always, he's been hitting on his first pick in the draft. I don't know. That offensive lineman he drafted a couple years ago, he's hit or miss though. Wills though, all right. But MJ Stewart was really not MJ Stewart. MJ Emerson was really good last year from corner they got. He was a really good pickup. So he got Donovan Peoples-Jones in the 6th round. So I mean Andrew Berry, he can find talent. He can find these gems. Like he can create nothing out of something. So I'm not completely unsold on it. But everything looks good on paper, man. Everything looks good on paper. So I don't I hate doing this grade this draft when we don't know how good these players are.
Oh yeah, you don't see. I like putting out draft grades, but I'm not grading the players, right? I'm grading the picks. I'm grading the value that you got, like compared to where I thought they were going to go, compared to like the potential that they bring to the team. When I put out grades, I'm 100%. It's 100% about like the potential. It's not in any way, shape, or form about like, was this a good pick or not? Because you don't know if it's a good pick or not. Like you're never gonna know. Like I mean, Cedric Tillman could end up being like, the next great wide receiver, despite your concerns about his mentality. But I mean, he could also end up being terrible. You just don't know. And you can't grade based off of if they're actually a good player or not. What I feel you can grade off of, though, is like, the talent and like, the potential swings in the position that you're putting your team in to potentially have a good roster going forward. That's what I think you can grade on. And that's what I try to focus on when it comes to grades.
What was funny though in the draft, I was saying something was funny or hilarious. Was Atlanta drafting a running back at number 8.
I live streamed the first round of the draft and I was berating them the whole time. I'm like, are you out of your mind? Bijan Robinson could be an amazing running back, right? Like, I am not trying to say anything negative about Bijan Robinson, the player, right? He is an incredible, like, versatile, like, shifty, really, and powerful running back. Like, I mean, he could be like Saquon Barkley. He could be like one of these amazing running backs. But who the fuck cares? Honestly,
Dude.
like how much impact does running back make in the NFL these days? It does make an impact. It does, and it can get a team over the hump. But the Falcons are not ready to go over the hump just yet. Like by the time the Falcons are ready to like even make the playoffs, I feel like Bijan Robinson's going to be like, starting to trail off because injuries are going to pile up,
Yeah. Dude, I was in my car. Look, I have my car from work after work that day, Thursday. I was driving home. And then the first thing, so I had to drive home on my radio. The first thing they said was, an Atlanta Falcons take running back B.J. Robinson. And then, like, the radio host, Ken Carmen, was like, B.J. Robinson, dots. And the first guy was like, well, man, covering the Browns for 20 years, I mean, it shouldn't be my place to say somebody made a bad pick, but I think I know a bad pick one or another being a Browns analyst. It's like, I'm not a fan of it at all. But look, I want B.J. Robinson to be great, but y'all were third in the league in rushing.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like
in a passing NFL. Hey, y'all, at the number 8 pick in the draft, not only do I say, you know what? We're going to go against the conventional rule that you shouldn't draft the running back in the first round. All right, fine. If you believe that you should draft the running back in the first round, fine, But don't y'all need receivers?
Don't y'all need literally everything?
Did the receiver not just get a year for gambling? Like,
yeah, I don't know what the Falcons were thinking. I will say I will yield a little bit on the running back in the first round argument, though, because I actually you saw the Lions took a running back at 12, right? Jahmyr Gibbs.
Did they really?
Yeah. They took Jahmyr Gibbs at with the 12th.
But they got like 3 first round picks though.
That's the thing. So I'm more understanding and I actually kind of feel like it was a good pick for the Lions, right? Jahmyr Gibbs, and then they traded DeAndre Swift to the Eagles, and so I feel like the Jahmyr Gibbs pick makes sense because you had another first round pick. Okay, so it's not like you were banking your entire first round investment on a running back. And the Lions are much closer to competing, right? Like, I feel like Jahmyr Gibbs, if he makes the kind of impact that he's capable of making, Jahmyr Gibbs could get the Lions to the playoffs, and then anything's possible. Bijan Robinson is not getting the Falcons to the playoffs.
Dude.
And by the time he does, he's going to be washed up.
Nick Chubb was our 3rd pick in the draft. Nick Chubb was our 2nd pick in the 2nd round.
Right. But the 2nd round. Now, Nick Chubb is amazing.
Yeah, he's great.
But at the same time, this isn't me being a dick. This is me being honest. At the same time, what have the Browns done?
What with Chubb?
I mean, they did win a playoff game against the Steelers. That was
no. You haven't done anything. I mean, Chubb is great. Chubb is a great pick. But my thing is that he was a 2nd round pick. You don't draft a running back in the 1st round, dude.
Well, that's the other thing. You drafted Nick Chubb, but what I'm saying is
I think
Nick Chubb was a great pick.
Nick Chubb wasn't just a 2nd round pick. Nick Chubb was our 4th or 5th pick in that draft.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We drafted Baker Mayfield that draft.
But the thing is, Nick Chubb being Nick Chubb was a great pick, and the reason why Nick Chubb was a great pick is because you got him in the 2nd round, not the 1st round. If you'd taken Nick Chubb in the 1st round, I would be currently being like, was that really the best pick? And then again, y'all had 3 first round picks that year, so it's a little bit different.
If the Browns took Nick Chubb over Baker Mayfield number 1, I mean, yeah, but I mean, the Browns took Nick Chubb number 1. Y'all be like, hey man, y'all could have Josh Allen, y'all could have Lamar, y'all could have all these other players. Y'all took a running back.
Yeah, and that's the point. Like,
Nelson.
Now, if the Browns went on to win the Super Bowl and Nick Chubb was the reason why, then okay, that's a good pick. But I would have been like a little on the edge. Like if the Browns had taken him in the 1st round, I would have been like, that was a little bit of a weird pick. Yeah. But that's neither here nor there. Point is, I like what the Lions did because they had another first round pick, and I can see this getting them over the edge. I can't see that with the Falcons, and it was a really high pick too.
Yeah,
like the difference between 8 and 12 is massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the Bengals and their pick?
Oh yeah. We can talk about the Bengals.
Now I haven't. Okay, now excuse me. I only know the first pick I got. That's that Miles guy.
Mm-hmm. So
and he looks nice.
Oh,
he looks nice. I'm gonna hate.
So you know who my comp for Miles Murphy is? Jadeveon Clowney.
Okay.
So okay, here's the thing. Jadeveon Clowney. You're very familiar with Jadeveon Clowney as a Browns fan, right?
Familiar.
He's very he makes a really good impact for the Browns. I mean he's up and down, but he makes a good impact, and he's been a good he's been a really good rotational player throughout his career, right? And if you had to rely on him to be a starter, you'd be pretty cool with that. You know, it wouldn't be like, you know, the ideal thing, but if you pair him up with a guy like Myles Garrett, you're happy with that.
Well, I mean, Joe Woods used him right.
Right. And well, that's what I was gonna say. So you don't like Jadeveon Clowney. You could maybe make the argument that Jadeveon Clowney was a bust for the Houston Texans, but the Texans took him at number 1 overall. Like, that's the difference. We took Myles Murphy at 28. Like, I like the potential that you get with Myles Murphy, and a lot of Bengals fans were like, "Oh, edge, that's not like our biggest need. What's the hell's going on here?" And it's like, okay, that's fine. You have now 8 other draft. At the time, there were 6 other picks. Now there's 7 other picks because we ended up making that trade. But at the time, there were still 6 other picks. Like, we can address the other needs. You don't take a first-round pick because of need. You take it because he's going to make a huge impact for your team. And I think Myles Murphy could potentially get a little bit lost in that defensive end room because it's loaded with like him and Joseph Ossai and Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson. But at the same time, he could make a massive impact. Yeah, really, like more than anybody else, I think, who was on the board.
I mean, like you said earlier with the Falcons. The Falcons, when they draft, you know, when you're drafting, you know, everybody's drafts look different based on where their team is at and what statue they're at. The Bengals are one of the 3, 4 best teams in the NFL. So if you guys are up there with the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Eagles, and that's pretty much it, where you can look at a roster and you go like, all right, this roster is more talented than ours. There's only these 3 teams that have proven NFL talent that have proven to be more accomplished than ours. Then at that point, you're looking at filling out holes to make sure that you stay on top, stay with the big boys, because it's virtually an arms race because you don't have a lot of holes.
Right.
And granted, you guys went off this offseason. Y'all did fix up your offensive line.
Nope.
Y'all did your thing on the offensive line. Now y'all just looking for. So you're at that stage. I just look for players to just add to your team that can make impacts. You can kind of do whatever you want when you're in a Bengals position.
That's the thing. That's part of why I love the pick.
It's kind of like getting paid and having all your bills paid. Like, all right, well, my electric bill's done, my water bill is paid for, my car is paid off. Yeah, I'm gonna spend this money on me.
Right.
That's pretty much where the Bengals are at right now.
Exactly, and so that was kind of my perspective on the rest of the draft. Like, the Bengals, in my opinion, didn't make any bad picks. Now there were a couple that I was a little questionable. Like the second round pick, DJ Turner. I think he's an incredible talent. Again, I'm a little. I don't know if he's quite the guy that I would put in the AFC North, right? Like the really physical big boy type of like division. DJ Turner's a bit smaller. He's shiftier, and I mean that's fine, but he's pretty small, man. So I mean, we'll see. I think it could. He's really talented. I really like the Bengals taking a swing on a guy who could potentially be great. I just, you know, I don't know if the fit's necessarily what I would have done, but at this point, I think Lou Anarumo has deserved the benefit of the doubt. Now, the third round, is when I about lost my fucking mind, Thomas, because I've been a big fan of Darnell Washington, the tight end from Georgia, for a very long time, and he fell all the way to the Bengals with their 3rd round pick. And you know what we did? We traded the pick. We traded down like 4 spots, and Darnell Washington ended up getting picked by the fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm so mad.
Got a little Pittsburgh.
No. So we ended up taking Jordan Battle, the safety from Alabama, which as a good pick. You know, we could use an insurance policy at safety, and he's talented. He probably should have gone a little earlier. And I had my analysis. I had him much lower on my draft board, but it seems like in general, the consensus was that Jordan Battle was a much higher rated player than I had him rated. So again, I'll trust Lou Anarumo. But my favorite pick of the draft by far and away was when in the 4th round, the Bengals took Charlie Jones, wide receiver out of Purdue, because he is by far and away the best kick returner in the entire draft, Thomas. And I've been begging the Bengals to draft a top kick returner for a long time.
Well, he got 2 first names.
Charlie Jones?
I'm sorry, he doesn't have 2 first names. He got a very common name.
Yeah, very common name. But
I bet you it's probably like if you Twitter search Charlie Jones, you probably have like 50 Charlie Joneses come up.
Yeah, we got in my opinion, a Samaje Perine replacement with Chase Brown in the 5th round, which that was a good pick. Good pick. You know, he's got some fumbling issues, but again, that's why he was available there in the 5th round.
You got a running back.
Yeah, we got a running back to replace Samaje Perine.
I
have a feeling.
What about to replace Joe Mixon?
I don't think they're not getting rid of Joe Mixon.
Y'all should get rid of Joe Mixon.
Why?
Like real talk. Like Cal, I love your team. I tell you, you guys should get rid of Joe.
Why?
What has he done for you? Besides getting in trouble.
He got in trouble. He got in. This is the first time he's gotten in trouble. The entire rest of the time he's been here, he's been a model citizen. And even then, it wasn't even like a huge thing. It's. I mean, we don't even know what the hell's going on.
You know what it is? Is that like all last year I've been put through the ringer. All last year I've been put through the ringer. So I'm just being unforgiving about it. But not only just that, like. It would be another thing if Joe Mixon was like tearing it up and this threat to the league. No, man. I mean, he's okay. He's all right, but he never really took that next step. Bro.
That's fine. He's still really solid. He's
terrible,
solid, terrible blocker. He still has pretty high potential. I think we're probably going to move on.
Y'all can get a better running back. Though.
No. I mean, you could have maybe gone out and traded for Austin Eckler, but like, I don't want the Bengals to go draft Bijan Robinson or whoever in the 1st round, and then like every time that the issue came up in the subsequent rounds. There wasn't really a valuable running back at that point. So at this point, I would rather pay Joe Mixon $12 million than have drafted somebody in the 1st round or have like reached for a running back. Like it's fine.
I would have drafted a running back in like the 2nd or 3rd round. 3rd round. I would have drafted a running back.
But there wasn't anybody available who was a good value at that point. Is my point. Like Zach Charbonnet went right. Every time the Bengals came up, it's like all the guys we would have been targeting with that pick had just been taken like 2 or 3 picks ahead of us. It was crazy the way it happened.
You could find a running back now.
You can, but that's my point. Like Joe Mixon's just fine. We're paying him $12 million a year, that's a lot, but it's not like it's not like we're going out and signing any other big free agents.
All right, I'm just saying, like. It's not even like the fact that he got in trouble. I'm just like, well, like, what have he really like done for real?
What has he done lately? He hasn't been scaring people lately, and that is true. And he does.
I mean, okay, great.
But I'm willing to give him, considering the way that both free agency and the draft fell, I'm willing to give him another year. You know, and if he's still bad. Then we're gonna cut him next year. That's just the way it's
last year. I thought at the beginning of last year, I thought that he started off well, and then he really tailed off. if my memory is serving me correctly.
I believe there were like some injury issues that happened, which is a reason to potentially move on from the guy. But I'm just saying, considering the situation, I'm fine with Joe Mixon for this year. We'll probably move on from him next year, or maybe he'll take a pay cut. But and then this Chase Brown guy, if Chase Brown can fix his fumbling issues, then he'd be a great answer at that position. Yeah. And you're gonna be using less Joe Mixon and more of like the dual system kind of at running back. Right. And I'm just fine with it. We're overpaying Joe Mixon, but like it's not the worst thing in the world.
All right. I'm fine, but you already need the best running back in the world when you get Joe Burrow quarterback, I guess, but.
Well, that's the thing. We still got Joe Burrow. We'll be fine. But so in the 6th round, we got a wide receiver who I have very little like this is a very meh, I don't care kind of pick for me. I will say the one thing, like his athletic score, his relative athletic score is through the roof. So I mean, like athletically, this guy could be incredible, and he's big for a wide receiver. He's like 6'3", 205. So I mean, this is the kind of thing like on the off chance something crazy goes on with T. Higgins, you can still kind of have that role going on with this Andre Ioslavas guy. Or Iosavas, I think. I don't know. Oh, and then the most absolutely key critical pick of the entire draft, Thomas, we got ourselves a punter. We got ourselves a punter in the 6th round.
Oh,
we picked up Brad Robbins, the punter from Michigan.
You always say draft a kicker. Y'all drafted a punter.
Well, we already drafted a kicker, so we don't need another one. Like Evan McPherson's fine.
Hey man, shout out to Mikey in the comments. By the way, I see your comments, man. Shout out to you. Always appreciate you contributing to the podcast. Doing your thing. I think you guys had a good draft. Like I said, I don't really the later round picks. I do know Miles. The later round picks are kind of like heady for me. You know more than, especially I have no idea what a punter is, so I wouldn't know. When it comes down to it, like I said, for the Bengals, what you're looking for the Bengals is just depth pieces for development in case somebody else leaves. So you don't have to worry about paying guys and stuff like that. Hope somebody develops something. But you guys are pretty solid top to bottom.
And special teams. That's the other thing that you're looking for if you're the Bengals, because the Bengals special teams unit has kind of been trailing off a little bit in recent years. And I think this was a big Darren Simmons draft because you got DJ Turner, who's he's apparently, from what I understand, a really good gunner. So like basically your flank guy on the special teams who basically is the head hunter of the special teams unit. And from what I understand, DJ Turner is a really good guy at that position. And then in addition to that, you drafted a punt returner, a kick and punt returner, and you drafted a punter. So I think Darren Simmons basically was like pounding the table during this entire draft cycle.
Oh, good stuff.
So the only thing we didn't draft was a kicker, and that's just because we already drafted one a couple years ago.
Yeah. No, I think the Bengals had a really solid draft. I thought you're gonna hate hearing this. I thought the Steelers had a draft on.
Well, I already said it. I said it in the intro. Like I hate it, but you got. Speaking of which, the Steelers are actually on the clock right now. The Steelers pick is in, so we're about to see their last. No, not their last pick. The Bengals' last pick. They got a cornerback out of Purdue. God damn it, dude! The Steelers are killing it. They got Corey Trice in the 7th round. Good God, I hate them.
As the audience wait for Kyle to tell everybody who Corey Trice is, besides the people who went to college.
He's a guy. Corey Trice is a guy who I was considering. Cornerback out of Purdue. I was considering possibly getting him with the Bengals' 3rd round pick. Yeah, and until we took DJ Turner in the 2nd round, then we didn't really have any reason to take another cornerback. Dude, like I don't know why Corey Trice has been falling. It's like Darnell Washington, you know, like he was just falling, and I couldn't figure out why. Corey Trice is another one. I have no idea why he fell this far. But I mean, he's a damn good player. And
all right, Kyle.
Hey, speaking of Steelers and cornerbacks, before you say your thing, hold on to it. I have one more thing to say. The reason why Charlie Jones was my favorite pick of the draft, and it wasn't just because he's the best kick returner. It's also because he played against Joey Porter Jr. in college, who was the Steelers' first pick of this draft. Joey Porter Jr.
Oh, okay.
The cornerback out of Penn State, and also, you know, son of Joey Porter Sr., the legendary Pittsburgh Steeler. But anyway, Charlie Jones played lined up against him one time in college and absolutely fucking torched him. Like he had like 15 receptions and like 4 touchdowns, and like it was insane. Like, and this isn't a guy like Charlie Jones isn't touted as a highly, you know, sought after wide receiver or anything like that. And they probably will never play against each other in the NFL because Joey Porter Jr. is an outside corner and Charlie Jones is probably more of a slot guy. But at the same time, just like knowing that our 4th round receiver torched their should have been 1st round pick, I love it. I'm so happy. It was the 33 overall pick, so it was almost a 1st round pick for them.
Yeah, having a good punt returner is underrated, honestly, because like teams win games on a punt return, kick return. I know we certainly lost games on punt return, kick return.
Mm-hmm.
We certainly lost the field.
Joe thinks that the Browns had a good draft. I am inclined to agree, Joe. There were a few. It's definitely not the best draft. There are some questionable picks there, I think, for the Browns. But like especially later in the draft, I feel like they really got some good value. Like I said, with DeJuan Jones and Luke Weipler and Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Isaiah McGuire, those were all great picks. And I felt like Siaka Ika was like the defensive tackle y'all took. I feel like he was a bit of a reach in the 3rd round, but you know, still a good player. Still a good player for sure.
Okay. I like the quarterback we got. The receiver we got. Book is out on him. I just didn't like his press conference, but I like the pick.
Right.
I do like that guy the Isaiah guy we got in Missouri. I'm really excited about him. So yeah, I gotta agree with Joe. I'm not really mad about it, but you know what I mean, again, this is draft. Whatever. You know what I mean? The Browns got enough core pieces where we shouldn't really be worried about the draft anyway. Because our 1st round draft pick was Deshaun Watson, and our 2nd round draft pick was Elijah Moore.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, for me, it's about what those guys do next year.
That's fair. All right. Do you have anything? Actually, real quick, I want to get who was your favorite pick for the Browns in the draft so far?
I'm probably going to say I really want to say that receiver, man. I really want to like him. I just really pissed off about his press conference.
I don't think after you just ranted about him for 10 minutes, I don't think he's allowed to be your favorite pick.
You know, I probably say, you know, I had a chance to watch the kid from Missouri's tape. I really liked what I seen from him.
Mm-hmm.
Really excited about what I've seen from his tape. Obviously, I'm not an analyst, fans podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like those all SEC guys. I like those guys who made an impact in SEC, especially defensively, because defensive players in SEC youth translate, and we have seen them translate. So I'm really excited about him, honestly.
Yeah, Joe says DeJuan Jones and Luke Weipler are his favorites.
Yeah, nice whole offensive line depth. Yeah, they get a good offensive lineman.
I'm gonna have to say for me, I think the best pick. I'm gonna agree with. Wait, who did you say again? Sorry, my
guy in Missouri that we got.
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna agree with you then. I will say as far as like Joe, as far as DeJuan Jones goes, like I I feel it with DeJuan Jones. Like the potential is there. But he's a boom or bust. The reason he fell so far is because he's a boom or bust type of guy. If he can't get his head on straight, especially when it comes to his weight, then he ain't gonna do nothing. But like, I mean, if the Browns can like unlock him, then he's gonna be damn good.
Yeah.
Also,
I agree.
interesting note. I just thought about the Browns have been loading up with Ohio State players in recent years, right?
Yeah.
The Bengals have been loading up with Michigan players. Like, what the hell is happening?
Hey man, Battle of Ohio, baby.
I mean, I guess I'm okay with that because Michigan has,
Ohio State the last 2 years.
Michigan's been doing pretty good the last 2 years, so I guess I'll take them. I'd rather have the Michigan players. I'd rather have them anyway because like I just don't trust Ohio State players in the NFL basically ever. Like,
yeah.
I mean, like honestly, like the only ones in recent years I can think of that were particularly great. Like, I mean, Baron Browning for the Broncos did a lot better than he got drafted for.
Ohio State.
You mean Justin Fields? You mean Justin
Ward? What?
Oh, Denzel Ward. He was at Ohio State.
Ward. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, Denzel. Well, see, that's the thing. Like Ohio State cornerbacks. I believe in Ohio State cornerbacks. But like linemen, I don't believe in Ohio State linemen. There's that one guy in Green Bay who's doing pretty good right now. Quarterbacks are awful.
So how do you feel about the Houston Texans pick then?
I didn't like. Okay, so I like the Houston Texans trading back to pick number 3 and getting C.J. Stroud, but also going and getting the defensive end Will Anderson. Like I liked that whole series, and C.J. Stroud has the talent. Like you take a flyer on the guy. Like I mean, maybe he I'm not the biggest C.J. Stroud person. I'm not.
I'm not a fan. I'm not the biggest Houston Texans fan.
That's another one. Wide receivers at Ohio State are pretty good too. That's the other one. Marvin Harrison Jr. probably going to be pretty good because Ohio State has put out some damn like Garrett Wilson. Holy hell.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison gonna be pretty good. Hey Joe, how we feeling after that Cavs loss, by the way, man? Nah, never mind. You don't gotta go there. Football
I heard about that. That sucks. That sucks. I'm not gonna lie. And this is not me being petty. This is not me being petty, but I'm happy to see the Knicks moving forward. But not because fuck Cleveland. That we have time for fuck Cleveland in other ways, but I'm happy to see the Knicks moving on because my boy Julius Randle needs a ring.
Nah, fuck the Knicks. Yo, they got an annoying ass fan base, by the way. Like Knicks fans are just like, ugh.
They're also a tortured fan base. So like, give them. Y'all are annoying.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not particularly, but Browns fans on the whole are pretty annoying.
Well, I mean, Browns fans are defensive because people make fun of us for so long. So, you make fun of somebody for so long, they're gonna start, snapping back.
You know how much shit the New York Knicks have taken over the years.
That's true, but I mean, like they live in New York, we live in Cleveland. Like it's one thing to be shitted on, live in New York, and then be shitted on, live in Cleveland. Dude, I was literally ready to bust heads. That was the worst I felt after cat. Yeah, no, like they just quit, man. Freaking Jared Allen got no heart. 7'1", can't get a rebound, punk.
Yeah,
grow some heart.
All right, so the Bengals are actually up after the next pick, so I'll be reacting to that here in a second. But I think unless you have something else to say about the Browns or the Bengals picks, I guess we got your favorite Browns pick was Isaiah McGuire, defensive end out of Missouri. And I kind of agree with you. My favorite Bengals pick. I mean, the Bengals absolutely knocked it out of the fucking park. So it's kind of like my favorite pick is Charlie Jones because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. But like, I mean, Miles Murphy was awesome. Chase Brown was a really good pick. Brad Robbins, I love getting that punter. Miles Murphy was amazing. DJ Turner could be really good. I wonder about his fit, but it's like, I mean, there's so many damn good picks. I love the narrative that we get with Charlie Jones. That's pretty much it.
Oh, the Bengals made so many great picks. Mike Brown did such a great job. Hey, Mike Brown.
That's the thing.
Brown,
like,
here.
Mike Brown
name my firstborn child. Mike Brown did such a great job. Mike Brown.
Mike Brown is still getting like shit on as like people like, he's the like one of the worst owners in the NFL. But the fact of the matter is, Mike Brown has changed his stripes quite a bit over the last like 10 years or so. Things are a lot different now. I understand everybody like remembers how horrible Mike Brown was before, and it's really kind of hard to overcome that reputation. But I feel that he had enough ability to self-reflect and look inwards. It took him forever to do it, but he did eventually do it, and I feel he's become a much better owner. One of the better owners in the NFL in recent years, I feel.
Hey, you throwing shots at our owner because they're well deserved. Yo,
I wasn't throwing shots at Jimmy Haslam, but I could. I don't. That wasn't my intention, but I could.
If I were to tell you my favorite Bengals pick, I would probably say that Edge. I thought that's a good pick. He's a good Edge. Like you said, he might be a good rotational piece. He might develop something more. I think that's a smart pick by y'all. You get a really good Edge in the first round. Especially that guy develops to be a real wrecker. You're in the fan division of TJ Walker, Myles Garrett.
All right, that's good stuff, man. With the 246th pick in the 2023 NFL draft, because the Bengals are actually up now. So there's a lot of directions there. They need a tight end, man. I'd like to see them pick up a tight end. I mean, I know we're late in the draft at this point, and all of my targets are gone at this point, but I mean, there's still some guys like back end guys that, I think could be pretty useful. So, but at the same time, just take the best player available. At this point, I'm not even keeping up with my big board. I don't even know who's available at this point. So we'll see. I'd like to see a tight end, but really any position would be a backup quarterback. I'd love to see that. Cornerback DJ Ivey.
Yep.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
Oh,
I have no idea.
First time I ever heard you say that.
I do not know who that is.
This is the motherfucker who be like, dang, man, that's who I wanted in the 7th round or possible undrafted free agent. Who the fuck studies that far, man?
I'm a gigantic nerd. That's basically what that is. You know who else?
Excited about getting a punter, man.
You know who else doesn't know who DJ Ivey is, Thomas?
No.
NFL.com does not know who DJ Ivey is.
Well, he's your new cornerback.
I wonder if the Draft Network has a profile for him. NFL.com has no profile for him. So it's it's not just me. It's I don't know who the fuck that is. DJ Ivey is from Miami. Used to open for 2 Live Crew. I don't get that. I'm confused.
That's a good one.
You want to explain the joke to me?
Because Miami's a hub for nightclubs. His name is DJ Ivey.
Oh, okay. I guess that
open for 2 Live Crew who like to party in Miami a lot.
Okay.
It was a group.
I don't know who that is.
Dang, man, you just catching strays all over the place today.
I guess.
I thought it was funny, Joe.
Yeah, you thought it was funny, so that I guess Joe got a laugh out of it. I'm trying to I got stuck on a Google CAPTCHA, so I'm not successfully looking this up right now. They don't have a profile for him either. I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
That's funny, actually.
I'm sure he's got a PFF profile.
The Red Sox, they're down by 4.
I'm sure he's got a PFF profile. Give me a sec. I'm going to be so mad if he doesn't have a PFF profile. Y'all are getting my live, like, honest reaction to what's going on. And my live, honest reaction is I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah. Joe, how many wins do you think the Browns are going to have this year?
ESPN had nothing either, apparently. Like, this guy just doesn't exist.
Get back on that. He probably heard that. He probably heard his name. Probably already typed some kind of long ass response about what do you think the Browns are going to do this year, record wise. I think I gotta wait till the schedule comes out to make my final decision.
He has to. He has to at least have like PFF grades. Like there's no way this guy just doesn't exist.
I just can't believe you didn't know him. Like you always know. Like
I don't know guys this deep. This is like the vibe I'm getting right now is this guy should have been undrafted. So I'm not sure what the hell is it. So we I just want to point out we picked 2 cornerbacks in this draft named DJ. Both of them are named DJ. What the fuck?
We probably never want to see him play.
Okay, here we go. He is 6'1", 195, so he's a bit of a bigger corner.
Okay.
He's 23. So he's a little older for a draft pick. It looks like he did pretty decently and pretty decent grades across the board as far as PFF is concerned, playing at Miami, which, isn't exactly, we're not talking about like SEC level competition here, but we're also not talking about like Ohio University level competition. So I don't know. I don't know anything about this guy. I am stumped. Like they stumped me, which is that's new. But I mean, it's a 7th round pick. I don't know if the Bengals felt like he's really good, then that's cool, I guess. I don't know. Like I said, like I've been saying, I trust Lou Anarumo pretty much to a fault at this point. So, I mean, I guess if that's who Lou Anarumo wanted, then fuck it. I don't fucking know. He probably won't even make the roster as a 7th round pick. So, like, I guess I don't care. Whatever. But anyway, that was my genuine reaction to the Bengals' final pick of the draft. So
that's great.
All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the state of the AFC North and we can get out of here. All right. So first of all, you got something to say?
No, you go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay. I was going to say, first of all, let's, cause I got more to say about the Ravens than the Steelers. So let's start with the Steelers. Just get them out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to start with fuck the Steelers. Fuck the Steelers. And fuck the Steelers. I am absolutely livid because the Steelers had an amazing draft. I hate it, but they got Broderick Jones, which is exactly the kind of guy they should have taken instead of Najee Harris.
Yeah.
But they finally addressed offensive line in a way, and with my personal favorite offensive lineman of the draft, Broderick Jones. That was a really good pick. Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah.
He's especially getting him in the 2nd round. That's really good. He's definitely not the best corner of this draft class, and like I said, he got torched by the guy we picked up in the 4th round. But him being, them keeping Joey Porter Jr. in the Pittsburgh family, that alone I think is a big win for them, and I hate it, but it's true. Keanu Benton was their other 2nd round pick, defensive tackle out of Wisconsin. In my opinion, best value you can get for a defensive tackle in this year's class. He's a poor man's Jalen Carter. He's the most, other than Jalen Carter, he's the most balanced defensive tackle in the class. Really good at stopping the run and really good at rushing the pass. And not a whole lot of defensive tackles are great at both this year. Keanu Benton is the only other, it was Jalen Carter and Keanu Benton were the only ones. Darnell Washington, I told you how I felt about that earlier. I was so fucking mad. I was so fucking mad, Thomas. Like, I absolutely just about shit the fucking chair. Too bad I wasn't streaming. That would have been good content. I was not streaming at the moment. Now their 4th round pick, Nick Herbig, the linebacker out of Wisconsin. I have no idea who that is. Not like DJ Ivy level. I don't know who that is. Like, I know who Nick Herbig is. I scouted him, but like I don't have any like really. He was a linebacker. He was pretty good, but I don't know. That's the one pick from the Steelers this year that I'm not. I mean, they need linebacker. So, I mean, I guess if they really think that he's a really good player, then that's great. But I don't think he's anything to get excited about. And then their 7th round pick, Corey Trice Jr. Incredible value. Maybe real name, no gimmicks. I got that one.
That's good. Still trying to my girl go around me outside.
Oh, that was like my favorite song of all time when I was like 12 years old. Younger than that, probably like 11 or something like that. Like, good God. All right. So, and then as far as the Steelers go, they are up next. So we're gonna find out what their last pick was here in a second. Right now, the Kansas City Chiefs pick is in with the their final pick of the draft. By the way, I find it interesting how Lindsey Patterson, I think, mentioned this on Twitter. So I don't want to take credit for this idea, but I do find it interesting how the Bengals used the pick that they got from trading with the Chiefs. They used that on a punter, which is, if that's not a shot at Drew Chrisman for having an awful game in the AFC Championship, I don't know what is.
Man.
So I find that funny.
I do find that funny, actually.
I find that funny.
I can't believe the Browns didn't trade the Ravens. They never traded teams in our division. It's kind of like an unwritten rule.
I'm a little surprised the Bengals traded at all. They don't do that a whole lot. Although they do. They trade down more often than they trade up. So I guess it's not that crazy. All right. So with the 250th pick, the Chiefs are on the board. And they got, what I'm guessing is a pair of Chiefs fans who are announcing the pick. I don't know. Holy crap. What that Chiefs fan on TV looks like if Andy Reid lost 200 pounds. And that was really weird. He's got like the whole Andy Reid mustache and everything going on.
Yeah, sometimes your fans take the faces of the coaches. I'm sorry, I'm watching this Wild thing on television.
What are you watching?
This Wild thing. He's a pitcher for the Guardians. His nickname is Wild Thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking about. I thought you were like watching a nature documentary or something. Like, what the fuck?
No,
what?
He's quite a wild thing.
Okay. Okay. I don't know anything about baseball. I know enough. I've actually been putting out Nick Jones, cornerback from Ball State, is who the Chiefs took. But I've actually been producing a little bit of baseball content, believe it or not. Now I'm not, huh?
Baseball is boring until August.
Yeah, I don't like or care about baseball at all. But I have been producing a little bit of baseball content lately, because the video editing job that I'm doing with Butt Fumble Sports, it's just they need content, and baseball is what's happening right now. So they're putting out a bunch of baseball gambling videos, and I'm editing those videos. So I do have more knowledge about baseball right now than I normally do, but it's also not very much. It's not. Still not.
I've been squarely on basketball mode until New York just came and just ripped my heart out of me, just like trample all over it.
Yeah.
You know one thing I would say this, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
When your team get eliminated from the playoffs, you feel a little less bitter about it, knowing that this one. Yeah, we did win a championship last year.
Yeah, you feel a hell of a lot more bitter about it when you lose in the AFC Championship after losing the Super Bowl. I was so fucking mad. I was like, "Come on!" I thought we had it this year. I really did. I really like. It's like last year. I was like, "Oh, let's see what happens. This is fun." But like this year, I thought we had it this year.
Well, I mean, everybody's crowning y'all already. People crowning y'all already, and it's whatever.
Yeah. All right, so with the Steelers' final pick, they took Spencer Anderson, a guard out of Maryland. Like, they need offensive line. They really do. They need offensive line, and I don't know if he's going to help too much. I he's another guy who I'm just not sure is really going to make the roster, but He's okay. He's okay. I don't think they needed to draft him, but maybe they thought somebody was coming to get him. I don't know. I don't know. It's the 7th round, so like literally, who cares? It's the 7th round. I don't see him. He doesn't really have the balance or the strength, I think, to successfully play at the NFL level. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, hey, it's the 7th round, bro.
It is the 7th round. So you're basically just like throwing darts at a board. Like, I don't fucking care. I'll take that guy.
They're probably sitting there smoking weed.
Probably.
Yeah, this guy, yeah, he's cool.
Dude.
Hey, pass that Josh Gordon.
Best name of the draft. A guy named Juice Scruggs.
That was my question was going to be earlier. That was my question was going to be to you. I was like, Kyle, you study these players a lot. What is your favorite name in the in the draft so far? And that was what my question was. He's like, hold that thought for a second. That's what my question was going to be. Yeah, that was literally what I was going to ask you.
It was the center out of Penn State, Juice Scruggs, who the Houston Texans took in the 2nd round. What a name, Juice Scruggs. Like the Bengals don't really need center, but like I would have been really happy if we had taken Juice Scruggs just because of that name. Like that. I would get a Juice Scruggs jersey. What a name. But anyway, so that's pretty much it for any relevance we have to the draft here. We got the 49ers, Giants, 49ers again, Packers, Broncos, Bears, and Rams as far as the rest of the draft goes. So let's go ahead and wrap it up and talk about the Ravens.
Oh, yeah.
And then we can talk about Lamar Jackson.
Oh, I thought the Ravens are Lamar Jackson.
Do what?
Well, I mean, the whole thing the Ravens did this offseason was for Lamar Jackson, right? Everything.
Well, I mean, we can talk about his contract, but like first, let's at least kind of because I thought they had an okay draft, but they also had a really weird draft. Like their 7th round pick, getting Andrew Voorhees in the 7th round, that was nuts. I was wow.
See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Like you have analysts of 7th round draft picks. Well, how the fuck do you do that?
I thought Andrew Voorhees was going in the 3rd, man.
Yeah, you see that about four people. You said about four people today. Exactly. That's the 4th time, the 4th person you said that about today. I've been keeping track.
I mean, that's part of the thing. Like I'm very knowledgeable about like what's going on with these players, but as far as like where they're actually going, nobody has any idea. Like, and if you act like you do, fuck you. You know, I put out a mock draft every year, but not because I think I'm going to get it right, because I'm curious to see what I get right. You know, it's just like it's an exercise in just seeing how close I can get. But I don't actually have any feeling that I'm going to like correctly pick where these guys go.
Pick right, and then that just made my world. That was the only time I ever predicted the pick. I'm like, if I'm the Browns, I'm taking Greg Newsome. And I just said it because I was like, I'm just a fan of his. I was just like, for the Browns, take him. But they take him. I'm like, yeah.
Well, I say that's part of the reason why I love Giovanni Bernard, because that was like the first time I really kind of like analyzed, like hardcore got into analyzing the draft was 2012. Before that, I was into it, but I got really into it in 2012. And the first guy that I ever said, like, I've watched his tape, I've analyzed him, I think he perfectly fits the Bengals system, and they should take him in round 2, is Giovanni Bernard. And then lo and behold, we get to the draft and they take him, and I'm like, what? That was awesome. That was like one of the coolest like moments I've ever had as like a draft analyst. So the Ravens. Honestly, I'm pretty underwhelmed by their draft. Like it, you know, like their 7th round pick. I thought Andrew Voorhees was a good pickup for them in the 7th round. And then their 1st round pick, they got Zay Flowers, the wide receiver out of Boston College.
Okay.
Now that was a guy that like I think my grade on him was lower than most other people's because like he got a lot of like 1st round hype like leading up to the draft, and I thought he was more of a 2nd round type of guy. But the Ravens picked him up, and he does fit the Ravens system. Like it is a good pick. Receivers. They're going to pair him with Rashad Bateman and Nelson Aguilar and Odell Beckham Jr. So they got like 4 scary-looking receivers there in Baltimore for Lamar Jackson to throw the ball to. Now, the question is Lamar Jackson going to successfully throw the ball to them? That's why we can go ahead and move on to talking about the Lamar Jackson contract, which this is exactly what I wanted the Ravens to do, and that's like give in and pay Lamar a ton of money because Lamar Jackson.
It's funny. I'm actually kind of in the same camp with you because, like, I was actually somebody. I'm pretty sure I said on podcast. I think I'd rather them just sign with Lamar and trade him away because I feel like the Ravens. I do think the Ravens have shown good history of draft picks and everything. I wouldn't want the Ravens to get like 2 number 1s or 3 number 1s for Lamar, but it's obvious that they weren't getting that. So the NFL has spoken about Lamar, and the NFL is usually right about this talent evaluation stuff when somebody hits the trade market because talking about picks, if more than one team don't line up for you and teams aren't knocking on your door for you, that's usually a telltale sign. I remember a couple of years ago, I didn't look at Lamar Jackson's stats last year, but I remember a couple of years ago, I remember going on a podcast and saying constantly Lamar Jackson has had the same passing stats as Baker Mayfield did when Baker Mayfield hurt his shoulder. And Lamar Jackson only played those games during that season when healthy. So we talk about how bad Baker Mayfield's passing stats were with torn shoulder. And Lamar Jackson's passing stats, who's also a quarterback, had the same exact passing stats. I think that was a telltale sign. And we can talk about his running ability, his scramble ability. Fine. That's the thing. I get that. But at the end of the day, if your quarterback cannot pass the ball, like, it's great that your quarterback can run. It's fantastic. There's nothing wrong with having a quarterback that can run the ball. But if your quarterback cannot consistently pass the ball, he's not going to be an elite quarterback in this league. Fine, you won an MVP. Fine. You won one playoff game.
That's the thing. And that's part of why I love that they're paying him a ton of money because he's never going to be an MVP again. Like, that's the thing. Lamar Jackson is never getting back to that level. And the reason he's never getting back to that level is because he got there on his legs. Like, yes, he was a damn good passer that year. But that's not the reason he won MVP. Was because of his passing abilities. And his passing abilities have declined since then. And as far as a runner, he's injured all the time. It's because of his style. It's because of his style of play. And they paid that guy all that money. And I'm down. That's what I wanted the Ravens to do. I wanted them to give him a contract. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it'd be pretty interesting and kind of
regular season.
Like the Ravens, if the Ravens move on from Lamar Jackson this offseason, they're definitely rebuilding in the upcoming years. So, I mean, then you're also like, it's kind of a win-win, really. I'll take either one. But what I really wanted them to do is I wanted them to re-sign him because now they're locked into a guy who has trouble staying healthy and I don't believe is ever getting back to an MVP level. And part of the reason is because the league's figured him out. The Bengals have figured him out for sure.
The league has figured him out. And it's funny that you say that about passing ability. His passing ability has gotten worse every year.
Right.
That's actually a very ironic thing to say that. You know. I mean, here's the thing though, man. Like, he's gonna win. You can win plenty of games in the regular season, but even still, people are starting to figure out. It's kind of like the Wildcat offense. You remember the Wildcat offense took everybody off balance, and everybody caught up to it. And it's not even just that, you know what I mean? There's more to being a quarterback than just freelancing and then just running around and just throwing to the open, throwing the medicine ball to the open receiver, which you could do more with the receivers he got. That's why they gave him the receivers he got, so he could do that same thing. Go ahead, freelance, dance around, and throw a medicine ball. He has a strong arm. Just dance around, throw it to Odell Beckham down the field. That's all we need you to do. All right, fine. What's the defense has figured that out in the playoffs too?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, they're building the all injury team there in Baltimore. Now they got Odell Beckham Jr. as like
Odell Beckham
big
have injured himself against the Cincinnati Bengals.
Rashad Bateman was injured quite a bit.
He injured Odell Beckham have injured his ACL against the. This is not a joke or anything. It's just a fact. He injured his ACL against the Bengals twice.
Right.
And now he's playing against them 2 times a year. Talk about
right.
Demons coming up.
Yeah, I'm not in any way, shape, or form scared of Odell Beckham Jr. on the Ravens. I was famously when the Browns traded for Odell Beckham Jr., I famously laughed my ass off because like I figured that would be the worst possible locker room like time bomb for the Cleveland Browns, and I was like, let's go. But from a talent perspective, I was like, man, if they can unlock him, that's going to be scary. But now at this point in Odell Beckham's career, I'm not scared of him. I'm not scared. I trust our quarterbacks to be fine against him.
I think you're going to have a good season.
Rashad Bateman is the only guy in Baltimore that I like even with like Zay Flowers is good. I'm not saying he's not good, and he could develop, but I don't think he's going to be that great in year one. Rashad Bateman's about the only guy who really scares me in the Ravens receiver room. And even then, like I said, he's had injury problems too. So like I said, they're building the all-injury team there in Baltimore, which they've already had for the last couple of years anyway.
Like him getting hurt in 2020 is hard. I mean, he's gonna be really hard coming back from a second ACL tier too.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's coming back from ACL number 2.
I mean, the thing
is, how old is he at this point?
You gotta be 30, 31. But I mean, like, here's my thing though.
30.
People, look, I'm my real with you, Cal. People are here saying, counting out Deshaun Watson, saying he's third and fourth best quarterback in the AFC North. I think, personally, the fact you put me on the record, I'll give you Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's proven with the Super Bowl, all that stuff. Joe Burrow's number 1. But I think Deshaun Watson's 2. Just barely, because I think Deshaun Watson can play on the level of Joe Burrow when he gets in his stride. But I think Deshaun Watson is definitely the second best quarterback in this division. And easily. I think that he's going to be very scary next year. And I think that he's going to make a lot of freaking Baltimore Ravens fans look silly. Let's go. We tied the game. Fuck you, Boston. Sorry, Guardians are tied. Go Guard. Anyway, I think Deshaun Watson is the second best quarterback in the world.
Right.
But I just think that Lamar Jackson is better than Deshaun Watson. I'm sorry. I just think Deshaun Watson is better. And I hear, you know what I mean? Like, people want to like, oh, you're crazy, you're emotional Browns fan, whatever. So I don't care anymore. Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback. Like, he's a good quarterback, people. I don't understand why we're judging off of 6 games where he came in the middle of the season when everybody was already warmed up. Anyway, that's nice.
No, I totally agree with you. Deshaun Watson, like, first of all, like, I agree with you on multiple points, right? I agree with you that Deshaun Watson's potential is definitely on the level of Joe Burrow. I definitely think Deshaun Watson could be that good. I don't know if he will be, but, you know, we could debate that. We could debate that endlessly. We'll see with him, but he could be that. By the way, the Mr. Irrelevant pick is on the board for the Los Angeles Rams, so we're going to see what that is here in a second. But I definitely, Lamar Jackson, easily the number 3 quarterback in the AFC North. And honestly, depending on how Kenny Pickett develops, I wouldn't like here, at least in a few years, Kenny Pickett might be better.
He might be above average.
I don't know. I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to go that direction. We've talked about it numerous times. But if he does, a lot of people seem to be convinced that he has that potential. And if he does develop, he's probably going to surpass Lamar Jackson in a couple of years.
I mean, Steelers have put a good team around Jackson. I'll tell you that. You got to get the Steelers to do it now.
Yep. All right. So with the 259th pick of the 2023 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Rams select Mr. Irrelevant. I guess they're not on the stage yet. Never mind. Hold on.
I think I'm ahead of you.
Oh, okay. Well, you say it then, because I think I'm behind.
Yeah, turn it on.
It says I'm behind.
They're doing this long ass speech. Trust me, I went to the NFL draft. I know this speech all too well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's the Rams selection.
Selected is Juan Johnson, a deep tackle from Toledo.
Shout out to Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Johnson, Toledo prospect. This guy, look at him go. I'm back at my parents' house.
35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. I am 64 seconds behind you, Thomas. Deshaun Johnson is Mr. Irrelevant. There we go. I thought when you did your audio, when you turned on the audio on your end, I thought they said Deshaun Watson, and I'm like, what the fuck?
He is not Toledo though. He is coming out of Ohio. From Ohio to LA, you done made it, bro.
Deshaun now Deshaun Johnson, I do know him. I do know him.
Deshaun Johnson's going from freaking Toledo, Ohio to LA. Congratulations.
Yep. He's a good player. I definitely had a seventh round grade on him. Like this isn't good or bad value. This is just where I thought he would go. So Rams get Deshaun Johnson. He is or is that?
By the way, I like the fountain in Kansas City.
Kansas City's got a sweet setup, dude. Like I really like their setup. Fuck Kansas City, but I like their setup.
Yeah. When are y'all hosting the NFL draft?
When are we hosting the NFL draft?
Yeah.
I probably never. I don't know.
Y'all have to. Everybody going to host.
Oh, is everybody going to host it?
I would expect so. I mean, we were like third city to host it. Philadelphia did already. I would say New York did already.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure if we really have.
Cincinnati would be a great host city.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if Cincinnati has the infrastructure for it, but I guess Cincinnati itself disagrees because Cincinnati is planning, and there's nothing confirmed, but Cincinnati is apparently trying to host the NFL draft in either 2027, 2028, or 2029. So that'll be interesting.
That's the bars and the breweries, man. I mean, it's a nice little spot.
Oh no, we got a lot of stuff to do. It's just it's more so like our road system and our hotel space.
I mean, it's gonna be hard for me to get. I mean, because they're just in Cleveland.
Yeah,
they're literally just Cleveland.
Yeah, hearing about like 5 or 6 years looks like when they're.
Hey, quick question.
I'm not even sure I'm still going to be in Cincinnati in 5 or 6 years, but I'll probably make the trip back if they have the.
Yeah, I have a trip to that draft. But here, quick question though. Don't y'all have a Hall of Famer this year?
Yeah, Ken Riley got elected.
Okay, I like how y'all get a Hall of Famer here that we get the Hall of Fame game, so we're just going to take over Ken. But yeah, come down. You just come down for the Hall of Fame event. If you want to do it. It's fun.
When is the Hall of Fame game?
It's like usually mid-August.
Usually, okay. We'll see. I don't know what's going on at that time, but that sounds.
Yeah, I go down every year to something. Like last year, I went to go see Chappelle. I mean, like Canton's literally like down the street for Cleveland, so like it's gonna be overran for people.
I will say the one thing about the Hall of Fame game is it's a preseason game. It seems like a lot of like effort to go through to go to a preseason game.
Yeah, but a whole bunch of celebrities show up to that stuff too.
That's true. All right. Well, yep. That's the NFL draft, everybody. So I really liked the Bengals draft. There were a couple of things that I was kind of up and down on, but I was a pretty big fan of what we did in the draft this year. I like it. I see the continued vision for the Bengals, and they're definitely sticking by their philosophy that's worked so well for them in the past few years. So I'm a fan. Thomas, what's your final thoughts about the Browns draft?
I think the draft was great. I thought both teams did their thing. I feel the same way about the Browns as I do about this chicken right now.
What's that?
Yeah, it's spicy, cooked just right, but it's gonna feel like shit tomorrow.
You think it's gonna feel like shit tomorrow? I mean, I'm sure the chicken will. I'm saying the draft.
Go Browns.
I'll do that. You got wings. Oh, I want some wings. Give me some wings. Give them to me right now. Fuck you, Thomas. All right, so that's it for this episode of the Battle of Ohio podcast, everyone. Until next time, y'all can always catch me more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/The Phelps, and my YouTube channel. It's just Kyle Phelps, but I put out content quite often. And then Thomas, he's at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram, and he's the Thomas J. Fuck you in those chicken wings, dude. The Thomas J Network on YouTube and TikTok.
Oh, and I got this song coming.
And he's got a new song coming. What's it called?
Next week. It's called Quam. It's about the Cleveland Guardians left fielder Stephen Quam.
Quam?
Quam.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's go. New song dropping. Check them out, everybody. But anyway, that's it. That's all we got. So I'll leave y'all, as always, with a hootie.
Go Brown.